Right now at noon, Americans take part in marches across the country today, recognizing 60 years since Martin Luther King Jr. marched on Washington, demanding civil rights.
We've still got some pretty cloudy skies out there, still a little bit on the breezy side, but the winds will calm down and then there's some big changes coming in. We'll tell you all about them coming up.
And Italy's #1 fugitive, the Godfather, is now behind bars.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Americans are pausing today to remember and celebrate the life of Martin Luther King Jr. This is KOAM News at noon. I'm Tanya Bach. Topping our first 7 minutes, today marks Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday, a holiday, and an official day of service. This morning, the King Memorial Foundation held a wreath laying at the Martin Luther King Jr. Memorial in Washington, D.C. Now, this year's theme is a day of reflection and reconciliation. This year marks 60 years since the March on Washington and his speech to demand civil rights, jobs, and freedom. Marches are happening across the country today, like this one in San Antonio, where hundreds lined up for the 2.9-mile route. Here in the 4 states, the community is invited to attend a candlelight vigil at 6 p.m. on the PSU campus on the Oval, and from 6 to 8, Missouri Southern will host a celebration event at the North End Zone facility. Well, we kicked off the work week with wind. Chris Warner joins us with a first look at the forecast.
Yeah, we definitely have been windy throughout the morning. We were windy through yesterday and into last night, but the good news is, as we head into this evening, the winds will eventually calm down and we'll actually see a pinch more sunshine by this afternoon. But even without, we're not doing too bad. We've got mostly cloudy skies from our camera at 7th and Range Line, MoDOT camera at I-44 and Range Line, showing us the same mostly cloudy skies. You can see some blue sky trying to get in there. Here's where we stand. Yesterday, made it up to 62 degrees and starting the day at 40, and you can see not far off our average high for the low and well off for our high and well off for our average low. And we've been flirting with records for the last few days across the area with how mild it's been. Now we're starting to get a shift in the wind. Off to the northwest, it's staying a little cooler. 55 Yates Center, 54 Iola, 58 in Chanute. But you start heading south and east and you get 59 Pittsburgh, 62 Chautauqua, 65 Miami, 65 Neosho, and we're looking at 63 in Joplin right now, which we showed you those cloudy skies out there. Wind is still west-southwest at 26. We're going to do a pinch more warming, maybe see a little more sunshine, and then we're going to dip on back into this evening. Still on track for a pretty warm day, a high of about 65 degrees, and we'll start to cool off and get a little more sunshine in here. But there's big changes on the way in terms of temperatures and precipitation. We're going to break that all down for you here in just a few minutes.
All right, thanks, Chris. President Biden is facing a growing storm of criticism for his handling of classified materials. Republican lawmakers are ramping up investigations, and one Democratic senator is even calling the situation embarrassing. Around 20 potentially classified records from Biden's time as vice president have been found at his Wilmington home and former private office. That includes 5 additional pages with classified markings that the White House says were discovered on Thursday. The Biden administration is promising full cooperation with the special counsel appointed to investigate. For the first time in 10 years, Miss USA wins Miss Universe. Arbani Gabriel challenged 84 other beauty queens for the 71st annual Miss Universe pageant in New Orleans over the weekend. Gabriel, the oldest contestant at 28 years old. And during the question round, she said, "I believe age does not define us." Gabriel is a fashion designer from Houston, Texas, and works for a nonprofit. She's also the first Filipino-American to win Miss Universe. Well, police have captured Italy's most wanted mafia boss after he spent decades on the run, ending one of Europe's longest manhunts. CBS's Tina Kraus reports.
Military police led away Italy's #1 fugitive after arresting the mafia boss at a hospital in Sicily. 60-year-old Godfather Matteo Messina Denaro was reportedly being treated for colon cancer at this clinic under a false name and did not put up a fight when he was found. Police seemed to celebrate his arrest, with one shouting, "Look, he's there in the van." in custody after 30 years on the run, having been tried and sentenced to life in prison in absentia. for his role in deadly bomb attacks on anti-mafia prosecutors in 1992. At a monument to those judges and others killed by the mafia, Italy's prime minister praised the arrest Monday, calling it a great victory for Italy. Messina Denaro was nicknamed Diabolic, believed to be responsible for killing or ordering the murders of dozens of people, once boasting he could fill a cemetery with his victims. Investigators believe the mobster holds the key to some of the most heinous crimes committed by the Sicilian mafia. Tina Kraus, CBS News.
Messina Denaro was a leading figure in Cosa Nostra, the real-life Sicilian crime organization depicted in the Godfather movies. That's a look at today's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes. Up next on KOAM News at noon, Prince Harry's memoir is putting the royal family in the spotlight in more ways than one. We look into new questions about the family's wealth and its connection to slavery. And later, we're making sweet potato casserole in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen. The publisher of Prince Harry's new memoir says it is selling at a record-setting pace. Readers bought more than 1.4 million copies of Spare on the day it was published last week. The book is still making headlines, even for Harry's brief comment that his family made a fortune from the slave trade. Holly Williams has more on that particular disturbing part of the monarchy's long history.
The British monarchy is known for many things: pomp, pageantry and family discord. But less well known is its connection to slavery.
I mean, it goes all the way back to Elizabeth I. The British monarchy has been heavily involved in financing enslavement voyages of traffickers, but also beneficiaries of actually the labour of enslaved Africans.
Esther Stanford Kosei is a lawyer and reparations expert.
The governor of the Royal African Company was James II, otherwise known as the Duke of York. They also found ways of branding African people with the inscription DY for Duke of York.
Enslaved Africans were branded with the initials of a member of the royal family.
That's correct. That's correct.
Members of the British royal family have expressed their sadness about links to slavery, but have never apologised.
That the appalling atrocity of slavery forever stains our history. I want to express my profound sorrow.
The reason why he doesn't go further is that he is aware of what it will mean to actually apologise in terms of the legal obligation to make reparation.
He's worried that it could cost him and the monarchy money.
Not only money, but status. He will be exposing actually the criminality of this institution.
Historians say it's impossible to calculate exactly how much wealth the monarchy generated from trafficking in human beings. But when William and Kate visited Jamaica last year, they were met by protests demanding not just an apology, but reparations. And the trip was criticised as a damaging throwback to colonialism, including this meeting with local children through a wire fence. One royal who has addressed his family's connection to slavery more explicitly is Prince Harry. In his book, Spare, he acknowledges that the monarchy rests upon wealth generated by exploited workers and thuggery, annexation and enslaved people.
In terms of Prince Harry going this far, it's really, really important. We can see the establishment reaction, including the establishment media, who are seeking to belittle him, demonise him, because he is daring to speak universal truths and actually be in touch with the conscience of humanity.
We reached out to the palace for comment. They had nothing to say on the topic of reparations, but pointed out that Prince William has called slavery, quote, abhorrent, saying it should never have happened. Holly Williams, CBS News, London.
Still to come on the KOAM News at noon, Mr. Food.
We're celebrating Martin Luther King Day with a special Southern classic you won't want to miss. Come on.
And we are tracking some big changes in our forecast, temperatures and precipitation. We'll tell you all about it next. Well, we've got another nice mild day out there for us, well above average. We're talking around 20 degrees above average yet again today, but it is going to go away soon as we will return to normal for this time of year. Right now, looking at 7th and Rangeline, you can see a little bit of blue sky trying to sneak in out there. We're otherwise fairly cloudy. Same situation with the MoDOT camera at I-44 and Rangeline. There's a little blue sky out there. Otherwise, some fairly cloudy skies, but despite the clouds, temperatures still warming up nicely. 63 in Joplin right now. West-southwest breeze at 26, gusting to 36. So the wind advisories that we did have in effect have expired. We do not have them in effect anymore, but it is still gusty. The good news is the winds will eventually start to calm down. Northwest, it's a little cooler. 54 Iola, 55 Yates Center, Neodesha. Then we start to warm up heading southeast. 59 Pittsburgh, Fort Scott, 62 Lamar, 64 Carthage, 65 in Neosho and Miami right now. As we go through today, on average, we're still looking at a high right around 65 degrees. We'll start to see some partly cloudy skies later today and into the afternoon. And then we'll start to see mostly cloudy skies begin to return across the area, down to 49 by 8 o'clock tonight. If you're planning an evening out, we're looking good. It's going to be cloudy, but the winds are going to be a lot calmer, and temperatures do not drop that quickly either. 51 by 7, 49 by 8, 48 at 9, 47 by 10. We're down to 46 by 11. So again, holding on to mostly cloudy skies, but otherwise not too bad for a January evening. Down to 44 for the low tonight. And we'll see partly cloudy skies start to return overnight and towards sunrise tomorrow before we have another day of mostly cloudy skies with our next system that's going to be rolling in for us. So here's the clouds we're dealing with right now. We've got the winds. You can see them starting to shift. And as we head into tomorrow, we start to see a few more clouds. So we start the day again partly cloudy, pretty decent. Still have a mild day ahead of us, but there's some big changes on the horizon. Here come all the clouds, and then look way out in southwest Kansas. That little green sliver of rain. Well, eventually that will overspread the area. And by Wednesday, we're looking at widespread showers, maybe a few rumbles of thunder out there. And it will last for the majority of our Wednesday. So from 7 a.m., you saw it already in the area. 5 o'clock Wednesday, still some showers, maybe a couple of thunderstorms out there. And that's our last mild day for a minute, because as you see heading into Thursday morning, we're pretty darn chilly. And we do not do a lot of warming up because well, we're just getting back to normal in all honesty. It's just going to feel really cold because we have been really spoiled. So again, up to 65 today, 60 tomorrow. We'll see mostly cloudy skies return down to 52. Then we're up to 53 Wednesday, maybe a degree or two warmer here and there, but we're looking at scattered thunderstorm chances. We're not looking at any severe weather or anything like that, which is good, just some much needed rain. However, temperatures drop down to 32 on Wednesday night. Could lead us to a little bit of a wintry mix Thursday morning. Nothing significant expected, but just be aware there might be a slick spot or two. 43. We warm up to 49 by Friday, 44 by Saturday, and then, yeah, that's not a typo. We're at 39 by this Sunday, the possibility of some morning snow. And as we look further down the road, as you can see, temperatures remain about normal. It's going to feel cold, but they're about normal. However, overnight lows return to normal as well, which means they're back in the mid to upper 20s. We have another system coming in about a week from now that could bring us a light wintry mix, maybe some light snow Tuesday night into Wednesday. So as a system, it's still fairly far out. We're going to keep an eye on it. But as you see, after we get through the next couple of mild days, we are going to go back to normal, and normal is going to feel downright cold compared to what we've been spoiled with the last few days.
Basically, fight the wind and enjoy it while it lasts.
Exactly, exactly.
All right, thanks, Chris. We take this time to honor today's four-state hero, Clarence Thornton in the U.S. Navy. The South Coffeyville, Oklahoma native served aboard the USS Hancock from 1960 to 1964. He was stationed in Vietnam, the Gulf of Tonkin, and the South China Sea. Seaman Thornton earned the Good Conduct Medal, among other honors. To Clarence Thornton, we thank you, our four-state hero. If you're looking to make an elegant side dish but don't have a lot of time, we've got a shortcut that might just make your day. Howard shows us how to make his sweet potato casserole in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
In celebration of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday, I thought it was appropriate to make a classic Southern side dish that gets its roots from Atlanta, where he was born. And what's more down home than a go-along that starts with sweet potatoes and finishes with a crunchy pecan topping that'll make any Southerner proud. We mixed together some canned sweet potatoes that we mashed with some butter, milk, vanilla, and a couple of eggs. And starting with canned sweet potatoes instead of fresh cuts down on our prep time. And you know us, always looking for ways to cut down the work without sacrificing the taste, of course. Now for me, the best part, we make sort of a streusel-like topping, which is simply a combo of some flour, butter, brown sugar, and lots of Southern pecans. And to make this extra special, some shredded coconut. Once that's all mixed, we top our sweet potatoes with it and we'll bake that off. And it's the crunchy pecan topping that really makes this dish stand out. And the aroma of this baking will make us feel like we stepped right into a Southern kitchen for some good old-fashioned comfort food. Look, the recipe for sweet potato casserole with this crispy pecan topping is online now, and it's ready to be dished up as the perfect side dish or even as a change of pace dessert. You won't be disappointed. It's our way of saluting a very special man with, as we love to say around here, ooh, it's so good.
I love sweet potatoes, and you can find this recipe along with a lot more good food from the Mr. Food Test Kitchen online. Just go to our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. Here's a look at our 4-state market prices.
All right, mild weather coming to an end after about Wednesday. We're 60 tomorrow, 53 Wednesday, maybe some showers and thunderstorms. Take a look at Thursday. We're down to 43 degrees, maybe a wintry mix in the morning. Holding on to normal temperatures Friday and Saturday, and then we are 39 on Sunday with the possibility of some light snow. So enjoy this weather while we've got it, because winter is right around the corner again.
Yes.
Yeah. What do we have coming up tonight at 5?
Well, at 5, January is Cervical Cancer Awareness Month. In Health Watch, we're going to share one woman's story and the importance of early detection and treatment. Plus, a lot of area organizations are celebrating Martin Luther King Jr. today. We're going to show you how the Gordon Parks Museum is hosting events to celebrate his life. And someone in Southeast Kansas, maybe you, has won $1 million, but it's still an unclaimed Mega Millions ticket. Yeah, I know you're getting that ticket out of your pocket right now. Hope you join us for those stories, a lot more. KOAM News at 5.
All right, thank you, Dow. Thanks for joining us for KOAM News at noon. We'll see you right back here at 5 o'clock.